Well, welcome back from the holidays, the Thanksgiving holidays, and guess what? College football has really set us apart. Right now, Bama, Ohio State, Clemson, Washington will be our top four. Still have one more week for chaos to happen. You think chaos is going to happen?
Oh, yeah. Bedlam this weekend. Crazy stuff. My pick, Oklahoma, may not look so dumb.
Well, I still think it looks very dumb. We'll also talk about the Cowboys coming through on Thanksgiving Day. Now the number one team in the NFL, not only by record, but also in the power rankings.
Yeah. Power rankings passed up those Patriots. Let's see how they do.
And then Brad, I gave him a chance to get more hours. He said, I want to watch the Cowboys. And said, good job, Brad.
Yes, sir.
You took the money over Cowboys. Texas Rangers start now.
Welcome to the Texas Strangers. We're a little strange. That's how we like it. We thank you for tuning in. And if you're joining back up with us, we thank you for coming back. Now here's David Carson and Kirk Jones.
All right, Brad, thanks a lot, man. Talking about crazy. So we went ahead, we've already said, hey, championships matter the most when it comes to getting into this Final Four of the college football playoffs. Guess what the Big Ten says? Oh, we don't care about that. What we're going to do is go ahead and the number 2 team in the land, Ohio State, has no chance of winning the Big Ten title. Because guess what? They're not even in the Big Ten championship game.
Nope. Because they lost to Penn State. And Penn State and Wisconsin, can you believe it? Michigan and Ohio State aren't in the Big Ten championship. And it's almost like the Big Ten championship was really last weekend. And we'll probably get into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah, that's their game. That's the game.
Because that was essentially whoever won that game is going to make it.
Right. Now,
pretty much a play-in game, pretty much.
Now this week's big game right now that's going to control everything that goes on with the Final Four committee is Washington versus Colorado. Now, if Colorado beats Washington, and we'll get into the scenarios and what's going to happen just in case that happens. So Friday night when Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin, Penn State, your dark horse Oklahoma, another dark horse Oklahoma State. That's where that's the game they're going to be watching. They're going to say they're not going to be watching it. But we know they're going to be watching it.
That's a huge game. I mean, Oklahoma, I think, still came in about 9. And Oklahoma State, I believe, was 8, maybe 10, something like that.
Your Oklahoma. Okay, depends on what we're looking at.
College football.
We're going to go to college football playoff ranking. Right now, Oklahoma 9, Oklahoma State 10. So
this is huge, man.
And let's go ahead and knock out the Big 12 real quick.
Okay,
because even when West Virginia was undefeated, they still weren't getting any love.
Well, they had one loss. Well, you're right. No, you're right.
They weren't getting any love from the committee. And, I don't think they deserved it anyway.
Well, and then Oklahoma whooped them, and then it shut that door pretty quick.
All right, so let's look at the scenarios that could possibly happen. If Washington beats Colorado, I think it puts Washington, that kind of books them into it.
I think so, but what worries me is Ohio State, I don't think will be at number 2
no,
all
they're not.
Said and done.
No, we'll get into that also because I must say how it's going to work out.
Right.
Okay, and my belief, and then you say if I'm totally on crack or whatever drug you ever want me to put me on. I don't care. All right, so let's say Penn State beats Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game. That eliminates Wisconsin from moving up. And there's actually an oddball chance that it could be Alabama, and no certain order. We'll get into the orders later on. It could be Alabama, Penn State, Ohio State, quite possibly, if Florida beats Bama or
Right.
Bama in the title, you could probably catapult Bama back or Florida in there.
Because it'd be an SEC champion, and they go off of that. One of the things they go off of is conference championship.
Right.
So,
Well, the only
yeah.
thing I can say about that is Florida lost to Florida State. So now it would, for me, it would be even if Florida does beat Alabama, I'm still putting Oklahoma, I'm still putting Wisconsin, I'm still putting Penn State ahead of all ahead of Florida, just because they lost to Florida State. If they would have beat Florida State, oh yeah, for sure, and they beat Alabama, without a doubt, they're in the playoff.
Okay. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But I don't see Colorado beating Washington.
I don't know. I think you got to take into consideration what Colorado's doing. I mean, they are first of all Colorado. When's the last time Colorado's been? 2000 maybe.
I can
Cordell
name,
Stewart.
No, I can name the last time they played for a championship.
They're in the Big 12.
It was in the Big 12,
Right.
And that's right before it was the year that Texas won the national title when they had Vince Young. They played
06.
in Reliant Stadium.
Yeah.
That was
the Big-
05. Okay.
Yeah, that's the last time that Colorado.
Right. But still, I mean, Colorado's been bad for 10 years. And I know since they changed over to a conference, that probably adjusting to the conference probably is going to take some time. But man, I just would not put they hung with Michigan. If you watch, they lost to Michigan. That's their only loss. If you watch that game, Michigan and Colorado, it is a battle.
Yeah, it was a slugfest.
I don't think in Washington, man, I really wish USC was playing Washington.
That would be a great matchup
Because if Washington beat USC, because that's the only team Washington's lost
Mm-hmm.
to, without doubt, Washington's in. I still don't think Washington's completely in, even if they beat Colorado.
I think they are. And this is what I think. I really think that Ohio State, let's say Wisconsin wins. Let's just say for the Big Ten championship. So that go ahead and eliminates Penn State. So what I think will happen is Clemson will move up to 2,
Right.
Washington will slide to 3, and Ohio State slides to 4 because Urban Meyer and Nick Saban match up some of the best games we've seen of those two coaches when they meet together in bowl games.
I bet you they don't do that only because college football is all about money and ratings. They want to see Ohio State and Alabama for the whole thing. So I think that they put Washington, even Washington being a championship, I think they put them at 4, and I think they put Ohio State at 3 and Clemson at 2.
I disagree with you because I think they really want people to tune in on that December 31st during that time frame. They know they're going to hit everybody January 11th. They know they got those ratings.
Right. I mean, it did last year.
Yeah, it's money
was
in the
great
bank.
last year.
And it was Clemson and Alabama.
Right.
Great game.
Right.
Horrible day for me, but that's the day I had to put my dog down.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And that was a horrible. I didn't even watch. I mean, I watched bits and pieces of it, but it was. She could have picked a better day to get really sick.
Right.
So I'm kidding. So rest in peace. No matter what happens, I don't think Michigan gets in.
No. I don't think they'd have 2 losses. And I think the Big Ten champion would get in before them.
And I be honest, I really don't want Penn State in.
No.
And
I don't even.
And I have an alternative purpose of why I don't want Penn State in.
They have 2 losses. First of all, yeah, they beat Ohio State, but they also lost to. I think they lost to Northwestern. Maybe, I don't know. You have to check me on that one,
Okay.
but they have 2 losses. I mean,
Right, they have 2 losses. And if we go back to the Jerry Sandusky thing, they haven't done anything to really hey, we've improved since then. They really haven't done anything. So I'm still kind of a little.
Right.
I guess if you're a Happy Valley person, you're going to say I'm butthurt by it.
Right.
Go ahead and call me
They
butthurt.
lost to Pitt and Michigan. That was Penn State's 2 losses.
Okay.
Penn State lost. Yeah, Pitt, Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember, but because
Pitt was week 2.
Well, because Clemson also lost to Pitt. So
And Pittsburgh Panthers.
Yeah.
Man.
But I think
Who'd
even
have
if
thunk it?
Penn State wins, I don't think they'll get in because I still think you put Ohio State ahead of them because Ohio State will get. I think if they win out, if everybody wins,
But if you win head to head over Ohio State, even though you take the path,
right,
and I remember Michigan. I think Michigan blew them out.
Penn State.
Yes,
Maybe. And I know Pitt blew them out pretty bad too.
So
I just think that Ohio State has
49-10 Michigan over Penn State. So.
Yeah.
I call that a blowout.
It's a blowout. And I just think Ohio State, if you look at their resume, they beat Oklahoma. At the time was number 3 in the nation. Now they're number 9, so they're still a great team. They beat Michigan. I mean, not Michigan. They beat Michigan.
On paper, they're a great team.
They're a great team. They're a great team. You can't. I mean, their defense is trash, but they're a great team. I mean, they're at number 9. They've beat a bunch of solid teams, and then they beat Wisconsin, who's in the Big Ten championship. I think there's no way Ohio State, if they win out, well, I guess their season's over, right?
Right.
They're not going to the Big Ten championship.
Right.
I still think they're going to get it because they've had such a tough schedule, man.
I really think that Ohio State should be there, but the committee, and I've always, not like my word means anything, but I've always believed that you have to be a conference champion to be able to play for the championship.
Here's a scenario.
But here's the scenario.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Ohio State just had a bad game that day.
Yeah.
And do you punish them for? We've all had bad days, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Ohio State, but I really think they're better than Wisconsin and Penn State.
All right, here's a scenario for you. Okay, let's say Wisconsin wins.
Okay.
And let's say Washington wins.
Okay.
Who do you put in there? Because if you put, let's say you put Clemson in, let's say you put Alabama in, let's put Ohio State in. You got 2 conference champions that are got to get in. Do you say, well, you can't say you put them over Ohio State because Wisconsin lost to Ohio State. That's their only loss. While Washington, their only loss is to USC, even though that is a bad loss, Wisconsin's loss looks better. I say you put Wisconsin in and you leave Washington out and you put Ohio State in even though they didn't win a conference game or even though they won the conference championship. What do you think?
Well, see, I'm sitting here looking at Wisconsin's schedule and LSU. Okay, so I didn't
top
think,
25 team.
Yeah, but they're
But they're they're not LSU of the past, but they're still a top 25
and at
team.
the time, that was the other.
They were
coach.
I think they were number 9 too in the nation.
That was the first game of the year. Then they went off. I think that's Arkansas. It says that's Akron. Okay, sorry, I'm looking at Arkansas. I thought it was Arkansas. I'm like, wow, they took on No, it's Akron. Akron. Georgia State, Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa. At the time, number 7, Nebraska, Northwestern, Illinois, Purdue, Minnesota. There's nothing on that schedule that says that really impresses me.
Right.
And the 2 teams that they lost to. And sorry, LSU fan. If you're an LSU fan, I don't mean to criticize your program, but at the time,
still listen to us, even if you're an LSU fan,
right? Yeah. But at the time, you weren't relevant,
right.
to the whole.
But what about Washington? If you look at Washington's schedule, the only tough team they played was USC, and they lost. That's the only top 25 team they've played and lost.
Well, at the time, they played number 7 Stanford.
They're not even in the top 25 anymore.
Not anymore.
Neither is Oregon.
Utah, they were 17 at the time.
Okay, that's a solid win.
Washington State.
Yeah, they're top 25.
And now if they turn around and beat number 8 Colorado, that's your signature.
So you could say Washington definitely could go head to head with Wisconsin.
Right. I think that's the stamp. If they have to win this game to stamp the resume.
I just think though that Wisconsin for sure has a tougher schedule, and if they beat a number 7 Penn State, that trumps Washington beating a number 9 Colorado for a conference championship, and they've played Wisconsin and Michigan and Ohio State, who are probably the best teams. They're both top 5 teams. I don't know. It's cool to talk about. I mean, Washington, and it's going to come down to what I think. If Washington and Wisconsin win, it's going to come down to who do you think has a tougher schedule? Because they're both conference winners, even though Wisconsin has more losses.
Well, I have a crazy idea, and when I was in college, I proposed this one time. How many times do we watch every bowl game?
No,
I do. I really do.
You watch every one.
Every one, because I do this thing with my friends where we have a bracket and we put $5 in each bowl.
So you sit.
So I watch it. I record. I record them. I don't watch them every single. That's
what he's saying. Every second of every game.
Oh yeah, if I'll go back, I'll record it and go back and watch it.
Okay,